As we discussed before, if a party fails to fulfill a promise, interferes with another party's ability to perform a promise, or repudiates a promise contained in the contract, then their actions may lead to a breach of contract claim. Claim refers to that in international trade, one party breaks the contract and causes losses or damages to the other party, directly or indirectly. The injured party may ask for compensation for the losses or damages. It is necessary to include a discrepancy and a claim clause in a contract. Clause in respect of claim in an import and export contract can be fixed as follows. Discrepancy and claim clause. Besides stipulating that if any party makes breach of contract, the other party is entitled to lodge a claim against the party in breach. This clause also includes other aspects in respect of proofs presented when lodging a claim, the effective period for filing a claim, and the compensation amount to be paid, etc. It is applied for most transactions concerning the sale of general goods. Proofs. Clause in this respect stipulates the relevant proofs to be presented and the relevant authority competent for issuing the certificate. The proofs should be complete and clear, and the authority should be competent for issuing the relevant certificate. Otherwise, claims can be refused by the other party. Period for claim. It refers to the effective period in which the claimant can make a claim against the party in breach. Claims beyond the agreed effective period can be refused by the party in breach. Therefore, claim period should be reasonably fixed. Generally speaking, a period that is too long may put the seller on the heavy responsibility, and a period that is too short may make it impossible for the buyer to file a claim. Penalty. Clause in respect of penalty in the contract should stipulate that any party who fails to perform the contract shall pay an agreed amount as penalty for compensating the other for the damages. Penalty clause is fixed when the seller fails to make a timely delivery, or when the buyer fails to open the relevant LC, or fails to take delivery on time, and the penalty ceiling is also included in the contract. As mentioned above, most of the contracts concerning the sale of general goods include only the discrepancy and claim clause, but contracts for bulk commodities or machines and equipment will include both discrepancy and claim clause and penalty clause. In some sales contracts, the two parties often stipulate clauses on settlement of claim, as well as inspection and claim costs. In case the goods delivered are inconsistent with the contract stipulations, the buyer should make a claim against the seller within the time limit of re-inspection under the support of an inspection certificate or survey report issued by a nominated surveyor. Then, as we think, a non-breaching party may seek damages by filing a breach of contract lawsuit against the breaching party in court. However, court is not the only answer to settle a claim. While litigation has been the traditional way of dealing with disputes, there are strong reasons to consider alternative dispute resolution. It offers a means of settling disputes without resorting to commercial litigation, aiming to resolve disputes in a way that is less expensive, faster, and more predictable than adversarial litigation processes. Any dispute shall be firstly resolved through friendly consultation between the parties, when they just can't come to an agreement. a conciliation or mediation by a neutral third party can be conducted. In a conciliation, the conciliator helps conflicting parties avoid litigation by meeting with the parties separately to determine each party's dispute and needs. The conciliator's goal is most often to resolve goodwill or repair a working relationship, usually through concessions. Unlike conciliation, in which the conciliator offers solutions, a mediator is more of a facilitator to boost the discussions and the settlement between the parties. The mediator avoids offering proactive decisions, choosing instead to help disputing parties come to a realistically acceptable agreement. Conciliation and mediation findings are not binding. There is no winner or loser, and the parties are not bound to any decisions. Conciliation is often seen as the middle ground between mediation and arbitration. If the dispute cannot be resolved through negotiation, such dispute shall be submitted to the arbitration committee. Once a dispute has been submitted to arbitration, arbitration can be combined with mediation. International arbitration is the process of resolving disputes between or among transnational parties through the use of one or more arbitrators rather than through the courts. It requires the agreement of the parties, which is usually given via an arbitration clause that is inserted into the contract or business agreement. The decision is usually binding. As the number of international disputes mushrooms, so too does the use of arbitration to resolve them. There are essentially two kinds of arbitration: ad hoc and institutional. Institutional arbitration is one that is entrusted to one of the major arbitration institutions to handle, while an ad hoc one is conducted independently without such an organization and according to the rules specified by the parties and their attorneys. Arbitration is today most commonly used for the resolution of commercial disputes, particularly in the context of international commercial transactions. It is also used in some countries to resolve other types of disputes, such as labor disputes, consumer disputes, and for the resolution of certain disputes between states and between investors and the states. Dispute resolution is an issue that the parties may not like to think about when beginning a business endeavor. However, disputes can and do still arise. Negotiations are the most effective means to mitigate the risks of international disputes. In the event of a dispute, solid contracts that clearly outline the rights and obligations of trading parties will save complete time and money. Contracts that include choices for dispute resolution methods can salvage the business relationships which parties have worked so hard to cultivate. When disputes do arise from international trade transactions, there are alternative dispute resolution (ADR) methods which can be used, such as arbitration, conciliation, and mediation. Well, this is the end of International Business Practice course. No matter how much you have learned when the class is over, you must have learned something from it. I hope this course will help you either in your study or in your business. Best wishes to you all.